Welcome to www.salsalarraza.com, videos donated by www.worldsalsachampionships.com. You can reach us at 415-424-8532. Welcome to www.salsalarraza.com, videos donated by www.worldsalsachampionships.com, and you can reach us at 415-424-8532. Salsa La Raza with bermudez.com is dedicated to promoting, to advertising, to educating people about las razas, or Spanish people, or American Indian people, or their descendants. They are called mestizos or half-breeds. Our patriotic deeds for the Republic of the United States. And then we use salsa as a way of attracting people with salsa music and salsa dancing. But our main goal is to let people know our patriotic deeds for the Republic of the USA. That's the reason why the San Francisco Bay Area seems to live way above their head and everything else, is because way back in 1978, Ron Bermudez, the salsa founding father of salsa and the radio and salsa groups with the Salsa Angels that you see performing there for one of the carnivals here in San Francisco, I had gone to New York to hire the best world champions from New York to teach the people in San Francisco all the lifts above the head. The very first couple I hired to come from New York to teach us all the above the head lifts for San Francisco and the Bay Area, and also all the club dancing from New York of the New York Latin Hustle, which is basically a salsa way of dancing of disco of the people from New York. They had invented, the little kids, in 78, 79. So anyway, the first couple I hired was this couple right here on the screen, and it was Floyd Chisholm and Nelly Cotto. They were the New York champions and the national champions in 1978. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what got me to fall in love with salsa, that salsa tumbao, as it is being played by Roberto Borrell from Cuba.
When I saw the movie Salsa, and I got hooked. I went to one club called Caribe in Oakland, and I saw all these people, all ages, all size, doing these sexy moves. And I remember going there because when I saw the movie, I looked similar to the guy in the movie. So I dressed just like him, but I didn't know one step. And I guess, everyone starts from the beginning, all the way from the bottom. And
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're interviewing Alex dasilva. I had the immense honor and pleasure of giving him his first salsa class when he was 22 years old, right? I thought he was 14, but look at him. He still looks like he's 14.
We move forward with our next performer. The television star choreographer of the hit show So You Think You Can Dance decides to put on his dance shoes and get judged. Can he dance? Find out when we return at the second annual World Salsa Championships. While a salsa legend and the colorful Colombian couples are hot on their tail,
I had the pleasure of being his first salsa instructor. At the time, I was teaching people to do everything on clave. I was just teaching people to step the 6 steps of dancing, right, left, right, left, right, left, or left, right, left, right, left, right. and clave. So it was like pa 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 pam pam, and that was it. That was all I was able to teach him. He was in a hurry. He was going somewhere, and he was recommended by Ava Apple.
So, not only did Ava Apple send Alex dasilva to take his first class of salsa with me, but let's hear what I tell you next about Ava Apple.
And how were you when you joined my group?
Yeah, it was around the same time.
Okay,
Right?
so
A
she,
year later,
yeah, so she was probably the
16
only.
or 17.
Oh yeah, besides my daughter, her and her were the only teenagers in the group, and they joined the Salsa Angels a long time ago, and she was one of the first students to help me put together the mixture of the New York Latin hustle with salsa and then performing it and so on.
Well, I took your class a long time ago. I remember going to your house, and you taught me a couple of steps. But I lived in Oakland at the time, and you lived too far, so that's one reason I didn't come back. But I really enjoy going to your class. You know, I took a private lesson from you. I remember going to your house, and you showed me a video. Oh no, Eddie Vegas.
Eddie Vega, yeah.
And these are some of the workshops that I held with Eddie before he died and before I shaved my head. I mean, Eddie and Lourdes, you know, the world champions.
Our theatrical disco hustle champions, Edward Vega and Lourdes Jones. May we have their scores, please? And they are 10, 9, 9, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 9, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 92.5.
In 1979, though, we have a new national champions of the New York Latin Hustle. They are Eddie Vega and Lourdes Jones, and I also hired them to be my teachers so I could turn salsa mix with all that into something great.
92.5.
Now both groups, Nelly Cotto, Floyd Chisholm, and the other couple, Eddie Vega and Lourdes Jones, they were all trained by the Latin Symbolics in the Bronx, New York. And the people that were running the Latin Symbolics were George Vascones, that you see him dancing there, and Denise Florencio. Those were the people that were running the Latin Symbolics and the founders of the Latin Symbolics in the Bronx, New York. The very first dancer to come from New York to help me learn the lifts above the shoulders New York style was Valerie, sent by Eddie and Lourdes. And now here's Lourdes, the lady world champion and national champion representing New York worldwide. She came over from New York to help me learn lifts over my head, okay? And then Eddie Vega, the partner of Lourdes Jones, world champion, national champion of New York, came to teach me. And Nelly Cotto, who had now become a couple with Eddie Vega and had also become world champion, she also came to teach me.
I mean, somehow, even though I didn't train you to that, somehow you continue the history of what I created of being smooth with a group of girls dancing, and then you continue the tradition without even knowing that I was doing that, right?
I didn't know that you did that, but
Ava gave you the poster, right?
yeah, I think I saw it. I don't know. I don't remember where I saw the poster, but I remember seeing the poster. Maybe you carried the poster to. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, at that club, remember the club 600 and.
Oh, 650 Howard.
You were starting with your group, and I was teaching there, and I had the poster there. That's how it happened.
Okay.
You used to come and practice with your group there, remember? You used to bring all your
Yes.
and practice there, and I had all my girls teaching with me. That's how we combined that. Anyway, just so people know how we mix all the time. All right, man.
I'm glad you're doing great, Ron.
Oh no, I can't complain.
Y es que yo traigo el apazote para los brotes con esa hierba de catafé. Juntos compartimos y que tomamos tanto ron. Y aquel que se las daba de ser tan mujeriego, de ser un gran conquistador. Aquel mi fiel amigo me confiesa muy tranquilo que hoy tiene un nuevo amor. No es un amor cualquiera, que no sé de qué manera se convirtió en Mariflor. ¡Ay! ¡Un ratón! ¡Qué mariflor! Aquel aceite se la daba de gran señor. Se convirtió en Mariflor. Que se creía que era un gran conquistador.
And after taking the lesson with Ron, then I went back to the Caribe and then practiced the move that he taught me. And 4 months later, I got a job offer teaching salsa in San Bruno by this Chinese guy named Dominique Yen. And that's how I started teaching. Very short time.
Now, after that, he went into what kind of style? But before that, we're going to go back. So, how did you change your style after you took your class with me and I was trying to teach you to dance on the beat of the clave? So, what style did you go into? And maybe very briefly tell me how you came to where you're at now.
And, before I used to do salsa, I used to do hip hop, and I was into capoeira. It's a Brazilian martial art. And it has a lot of, in capoeira you do a lot of tricks. So I put the two together. Capoeira, salsa. And then I had a partner of mine, Mariela Franganillo. She did a lot of Argentine tango, so I mixed that Argentine tango. And I had a ballerina named Nicole Wong. I just mixed every dance into one. And at the beginning, people were like, wow, that's not salsa. But the people who never knew about salsa loved it because it was something new to them and it was exciting. And the people that was into salsa, even back then, people always into salsa, like drama. If they like you, they're gonna like you. And sometimes they'll like you, but they're fake about it. And I've been dancing for 19 years, and it's hard to stay on top. I'm not the best dancer in the world, but I'm like a lot of people's favorite, and thank you. And I just love it. I do this for a living. I don't have a daytime job. My daytime job is just dancing. Dancing in cars. In cars, I do it for a hobby. Competing, I've been competitive all my life. I used to run track and cross country. So I was in competition when I was younger. I won the Junior Olympics. I came in first in state when I was in high school. I was very talented in running and in sports. And to be a teacher, you have to be better than your students. So that's how I became very competitive in dancing. And then I started competing with different partners, and I chose always the right partner. And I won a lot of competitions. And my partner now, her name is Bermudez. She's only 23 years old, and I think I compete because of her. I don't need to compete anymore.
Alex dasilva is one of the choreographers on the hit show, So You Think You Can Dance. Katie, how do you think they're going to do now that they're on the other side of the dance floor, so to speak?
I travel all over the world, and I think I've done a lot of good things when it comes to salsa. And I feel like I compete because I'm still capable of competing. There's a lot of people who started when I started, and they're not that they're too old, but in salsa you gotta stay in the circle. If you get out of the circle, you're gonna lose. And because I win so many, people are always trying to bring me down. But every year, I have something new for them.
All the couples from LA have used sound effects. It's so Hollywood. Now watch this gimmick here with opening a door. They're the only couple in the whole competition to use a gimmick like that. It's very creative. That is a very difficult trick, nicely executed.
And it's funny, sometimes even in my competition, too many politics. I might lose, not because someone is better than me. I lose because some of the judges just don't like me because I'm doing so well, and they took it personally. So it's very hard.
Maybe you even have beaten the judges in competitions, and then they have a chance to get in with you, right?
Second annual World Salsa Championships in the Cabaret Division. With a score of 85.4, representing Brazil and Cuba from the LA Salsa Congress, number 303, Alex dasilva and Alian Ramirez.
Alex dasilva and Alian Ramirez from Los Angeles, representing Brazil and Cuba, plays fifth after the semifinal round, and there's pressure to meet others' expectations.
You know, it's hard for me because I have a lot of people who expect a lot of me. It's nice that people come up to me and say, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" But then I'm competing against them. So it's like, and a lot of people, they see what I've done before, so they want to see something new. So I have to come up with new stuff all the time. And that's why I have new partners all the time. So I get better and better.
And how did you end up now to where you're the only, excuse me for making you feel embarrassed, but the only salsa superstar that doesn't care about his reputation? He put it on the line, and he actually went to the Salsa World Championship in Las Vegas, and he competed, but now we're going to go back, right? I want to congratulate him for being so brave, because you don't see Felipe Polanco putting his reputation on the line. Everybody else is like, nope, I'll just do shows. They don't want to compete at that level, but he did. He has the guts to do it.
We move forward with our next performer. The television star choreographer of the hit show So You Think You Can Dance decides to put on his dance shoes and get judged. Can he dance? Find out when we return at the 2nd Annual World Salsa Championships. We move forward with our next performer. The television star choreographer of the hit show So You Think You Can Dance decides to put on his dance shoes and get judged. Can he dance? Find out when we return at the 2nd Annual World Salsa Championships. While a salsa legend and the colorful Colombian couples are hot on their tail.
Hello, I'm Ron Bermudez, founding father of Salsa on the Radio in the San Francisco Bay Area and Radio Coffee and Salsa Videos on the Public Access TV channel in San Francisco in 1973 and the first salsa dance group in 1978, the Salsa Angels. That's why I'm known as the founding father of salsa in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're interviewing Alex dasilva. I had the immense honor and pleasure of giving him his first salsa class when he was 22 years old, right? I thought he was 14, well look at him. He still looks like he's 14.
Well, I took your class a long time ago. I remember going to your house, and you taught me a couple of steps. But I lived in Oakland at the time, and you lived too far, so that's one reason I didn't come back. But I really enjoy going to your class. You know, I took a private lesson from you.
While a salsa legend and the colorful Colombian couples are hot on their tail.
My partner now, her name is Alian Ramirez. She's only 23 years old, and I think I compete because of her. I don't need to compete anymore. I travel all over the world, and I think I've done a lot of good things when it comes to salsa. And I feel like I compete because I'm still capable of competing.
Their program is beautifully laid out. You can really see her form in this spider spin at the beginning of their routine. This is beautiful. They have great variety. We see these difficult turns in non-cabaret routines, so to put it in cabaret adds to the difficulty and range. The ease with which he maneuvers her around here is impressive. A little difficulty here in the transition, but a finish showcasing Alien's amazing flexibility.
As Alex and Alien give love back to the very loving crowd.
You don't see Felipe Polanco putting his reputation on the line. Everybody else is like, nope, I'll just do shows. They don't want to compete at that level.
And Puerto Rico, Felipe Polanco dancers.
Well, it's like I don't mind losing to someone who is better than me, but I hate losing to a competition when everybody knows I won, and then the judges, because they're not very professional, they just, for an example, last week someone gave me an 8 at the Mayan out of 30, and another person gave me a 0. That's,
you know, that's personal.
That's very personal. And I used to dance for Liz Lira. She's a very well-known dancer, and she's for an example, I was a judge at the Granada, and the other judge, I guess they had a dispute a month later with her and Liz. So they came up to me and it kind of bothered me. They said, well, so what did you give her? They kind of gave her a bad name. I said, I gave her a 98. And they said, and the other judge said, well, I gave her a 3. And I felt so bad for Liz because she trained so hard for the whole year. She doesn't deserve a 3. She should have won that night, but she didn't win. And that's how competition are. It's like, you know, it's all up to the judges, and sometimes it's bad because you're being judged by somebody who don't even know too much about salsa. And one of them, I was judged by one of my students. Yeah. Well, sometimes I think it's better just to be applauded by the audience, because if there's 1,000 people, one person's not going to bring 1,000 people, but they can definitely get 1,000 applause, you know. Anyway, I live here in LA. I love it. I think if I would have stayed in San Francisco, it would have been called San Francisco style instead of LA style, because when I moved to LA, I was the only guy doing these tricks. I created a neck drop, which everybody does it. The flips. Before, people, you know, didn't do that into salsa.
They didn't do that on the West Coast?
And people used to make fun of me, like, oh, if I bring a girl up in the air, he must be unscrewing the light bulb, or that's not salsa. But I used to win every competition because I did the tricks, and you know, I had a partner with Sabor.